What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So Chicago Pro 2024 is now in the past, and I am so glad to say that the athlete that we hyped up so much, he lived up to the hype and he punched his Olympia ticket for 2024. So this was Muhammad Fada's first ever pro win, and this is the first time he is going to the Olympia stage. So some of you guys might already know this, that Muhammad Fada was given this nickname, the next big thing, because people believed that he's gonna do some great stuff in bodybuilding, just like Big Ramy did. Because both Muhammad Fada and Big Ramy are from Egypt, and Chicago Pro marks the start of his Olympia journey. So most of us had Muhammad Fada winning after the prejudging. The only thing that wasn't up to the par, that was the color of his tan. But this will definitely be a learning experience for him and his coach and his team as well for the future shows. So Muhammad Fada celebrated by having that famous Chicago deep dish pizza. The win also gave him an opportunity to talk to the judges and get their feedback on what to work on the most for this upcoming Mr. Olympia, which is gonna be his Olympia debut. And let's not forget his coach, Stefan, the boss of Outlaw. The man is picking his athletes in every single show, and that to absolute perfection. So 3 of his clients, William Bonac, Nathan Diesha, Martin Fitzwater, they have already made it to the Olympia stage. And now we can add another name to that list, and that is Muhammad Fada. And you know what? He's also coaching 2 of the biggest names in classic physique right now, Fazi and Urs Klashinsky. So Stefan is definitely gonna be one of the busiest men at this year's Miss Olympia weekend. So let's talk about the guy who plays second here at Chicago Pro, Willard. And what an incredible fight he put up last night. From having a torn tricep, and that happened just in February, so recovering from that in such a short period, and then getting ready to step back on the bodybuilding stage, and then present his absolute best on the stage. He must be extremely proud of his showing here, and he should be. This was definitely his best ever. So one thing that is definitely gonna change after Chicago Pro is that no one is gonna call him that he's an Instagram bodybuilder and he only looks good in the pictures or the videos. Because previously that was the case. He always looked so good leading into the show, but his look from Instagram, that would not translate on the stage. So Willa did not have a pretty physique or an aesthetic physique like Muhammad Fada had. But the thing is, he was so damn freaky, and he was definitely more muscular than Fada. And arguably his conditioning was also better in certain areas. He was more grainy. So the problem with Willa is that he has a long torso, and because of that, he has a wide waist. But this look here at Chicago Pro, that definitely suited him really well. He was really great from the side as well as from the back. I mean, we all saw how wide he looked in that back lat spread shot. So I'm sure he's gonna continue to compete in more shows, trying his best to qualify for this upcoming Miss Olympia. Tim Budesheim definitely deserved that cheat meal. More than anyone in this lineup, I have to say. This was his 5th show of the season, and he still peaked to absolute perfection. I mean, his conditioning kept on getting better with every passing show. So Tim finished 3rd here. This was a much more deeper lineup than Van Pro, where Tim placed 2nd. And this was arguably Tim's best look. So a lot of his fans are questioning why Tim isn't getting a win. So their opinion is based on his side shots. And there is absolutely no doubt that his side chest is just nuts. That is such an impressive shot for him. His most muscular is also freaky as hell. But here in Chicago Pro, he was fighting a much more aesthetic guy, much more shapely guy, who has such a small waist, and he has great V-taper as well. Because I think we can all agree that Muhammad Fada is definitely more aesthetic than Tim Budesheim. So the thing is, if a guy who has a better shape, he brings the same level of conditioning as Tim, then the chances of Tim winning the show, they become kinda less. So as per Tim's original announcement, Chicago was supposed to be his last show of the season. So as of right now, we do not know whether he plans to compete more, or is he gonna shut the season down. Well, we will wait for his announcement. Nathan Epler came in 4th here. So men's open bodybuilding is where he belongs, and he has such a bright future ahead of him in this division. He has such an eye-pleasing physique, such round muscle bellies, a very small and a tiny waist, and he was one of the most shredded and peeled guy on that stage. His conditioning was definitely one of the best up there. So we already knew that he isn't gonna be the biggest guy out there, but that is certainly a successful transition from the 212 to men's open class. So at this point, all he needs to do is to put on more size, more density, more muscles on his frame. And with the kind of shape that he has, and if he's able to maintain that shape while getting bigger, the eyes will always be drawn towards him. because the man has such an awesome looking physique. I think this was his second only men's open bodybuilding pro show. Texas Pro 2022. That was his first show in the men's open bodybuilding, where he placed 12th. So placing 4th here in one of the most stacked shows of the year, that is a huge accomplishment for him. I mean, he was able to beat guys like Hassan Mustafa, Robin Strand, and Stanimal. So Texas Pro this year is locked in by Andrew Jacked. But Nathan might have another shot at this upcoming Tampa Pro, which is happening in 2 weeks' time from now. Jordan Hutchinson was in 5th place, and if there was one guy who was kind of overlooked here at Chicago Pro, especially in the prejudging, that was Jordan. So the judges put him in the second call-out, and we had an 8-man first call-out. So him being in the second call-out meant he was fighting for that 9th spot. So him fighting all the way from 9th at the prejudging to placing 5th at the finals, that is really unbelievable. And that is something we rarely see. So maybe when the breakdown of this show comes out, we will understand more why the judges had an 8-man first call-out. So Jordan announced that he's doing Texas Pro next, and he plans to bring an even better package there. So Stanimal placed 6th here, so he improved 2 placings from Van Pro. And this was a much more deeper lineup than Van. But most importantly, him and his coach Patrick were able to come up with a plan where he was able to gain great amount of fullness while still being in a great condition. So Stan was looking for his first ever pro win in the men's open in 2024. And so far he hasn't placed as per his own expectations. But this is bodybuilding. He was 10 pounds up from 2023, and that is a lot of muscle in just 1 year. But the thing is, the rest of the competition also got better as well. So for the record, Stan placed 3rd here in this same show last year, and Justin Chai was the one who won that show. But this year in 2024, that lineup was way better and way more competitive than previous year. So let's see what show Stan aims for next. So a huge disappointment for Hassan Mustafa, who would have won this show. But the moment he stepped on stage, it was really clear that it will be difficult for him to even crack top 5 in this kind of lineup, because everyone brought their A game in terms of conditioning. So this is the second time in this season when Hassan Mustafa hasn't been able to place top 5. He was 6th at Toronto, and I have to say that is really unfortunate and really sad that Hassan at his best, he could have won both these shows. So I have no idea why he stopped working with Chad Nichols, because if we just ignore his Orlando Pro look from last year, where Hassan Mustafa did not show up at his best, all the other appearances with Chad Nichols, they were quite impressive. I mean, he was able to place 11th in the world, that too with a torn tricep at this past Mr. Olympia. Plus, I do think that he clicked really well with AJ Sims, his coach before Chad Nichols. So we will wait for his announcement and what's next for him. Not a great result for Phil Klahar as well as Chudley, 2 former Olympians. So Phil Klahar is 50 years old, and Father Time is catching up to him. And Chudley has been working with Milos Arsev as a coach for quite some years now. Plus, Chudley also isn't a young guy anymore. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's 45. Plus, this wasn't also a very good show for Robin Strand, because he was able to place as high as top 3 in these past 2 shows. But overall, Chicago Pro was one of the best shows of the year so far. So do let me know what you guys think about the results here. And also hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video. And smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.